dear devotees. So now I am cooking in New Mayapur for all the devotees. And there is one, I am in Krishna's kitchen, and there is one Bhakta who replaced a very nice cook who was cooking in the big kitchen and who had to go for 2-3 weeks. He was very nice, walking 10 kilometers by feet every morning, chanting japa. He told me so I can have good consciousness to cook for Krishna. Very sweet devotee, very hard worker. So to replace him, the president and the chef pujari, his wife, gave the service to a Bhakta, Indian, who was not so long in the temple. And very quickly I noticed that he was drunk, smelling alcohol, he was smoking, and there many were smoking some marijuana also. And I could see that he was not offering at all anything he was making. And so I was very annoyed. How can I offer this to Krishna? So I spoke with the chief pujari, and I told her what was going on. And she said to me, doesn't matter if he drinks, if he smokes, because his father is a Sikh, he's a Kshatriya. So I was very shocked. I told her that is not the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or what Srila Prabhupada taught in our ISKCON. And I asked her if she was, when the other devotee was coming back. Oh, she said, no, he's a dirty Sudra. He's not a Kshatriya. Wow. So then, I asked her to, at least, we make a little altar for Prabhupada in the kitchen, on the wall, and at least something that they want him to make, maybe at least offer. But I was very, very disturbed. So then, I understood that at night, 3-4 English boys was there, cutting woods, working very hard, and there was no prasadam practically. They was very hungry. So I started to make friends with them and cook something behind, hiding a little. Okay, but then they were speaking to me. All of them was quite heavy smoker of marijuana. And they said to me, well, but the president, we come here because he's allowing. Many people in England knows that here in France we can come and smoke marijuana freely. Oh, okay. So then I noticed that there was a devotee, a long time devotee, but not so old, maybe 30, 35, that he was not walking properly, almost falling down, and he was totally drunk. And a few times, the police bring him back from the village, where he was fighting with people, so drunk he was. Then he had a girlfriend, he was beating her. Then he was very violent when he was drunk. And a few young devotees told me that they was very afraid of him because he was, I don't know what to say in English, but menacing, I don't know. He wanted to punch them, and like that. And he was coming in the temple without any shirt, nothing, in short, and almost falling on the ground. Then there was another one. That is an old devotee who was totally drunk, coming also in temple, all of that. But this one was not creating disturbance, except that he was mostly in his room. And there was pigeons, So we inquired, and there was something to put on the roof, and so they would not come. There is many things to do, which are not costly. So they will not come, because it's not good for the roof of the castle. But they decided to kill them. So there was these devotees with guns, and one child also in a paramilitary dress, and who was walking with a big gun, to hunt in the forest. And they was around, and they were shooting pigeons. And we could see they take so much pleasure in it. Wow, you can imagine the atmosphere. And one of these days arrived a skinhead person, and that they bring back from, there was a Harinam every 2 weeks, and so they bring him back, and he was actually he was a cook. His family told us later. He was a big heroin addict, and he was still on methadone to try to stop, all right. And he was making cocktails with rum, and he gave to a few devotees who complained to me. But only after, maybe 2 weeks, our president made him the temple commander.